Hello and welcome to the Talk Football podcast. I'm your host, Hodgie, and this is episode 2 of season 3. I am joined on the pod today by Adam James, one of our regular co-hosts.
Hello,
Adam.
everybody. Hello.
And we are joined by Manchester United fan, Mr. Andy Reid. And if you joined us on the live watch along, you understand why Mr. Reid's so happy right now. Welcome to the pod, Mr. Reid.
Thank you for having me again, Hodgie. It's been a while.
It has. It has been a while.
It's nice to be
back. Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, it's a Man United focused pod, and this is why we've got Andy back on. And
Where do we start?
Well, we're going to start right at the start of the season because it wasn't a great start to the season for you, was it? You got done by Brighton, done by Brentford, 4-0. And then he decides to drop the fridge and everything's been rosy since.
Absolutely. I've watched every game live on Sky and BT, and that Brentford game, I think, was just a wake-up call for Ten Hag to say, right, drop Maguire, see how Martinez and Varane play, because Varane's only just come back from injury full-time from the Brentford game.
Yeah.
So it's nice just to see what them two are doing. Them two are just blimmin' awesome at the minute.
I've also Shaw not playing as well. I think Shaw had a very poor start to the season in those first couple of games as well. I know, I know Adam watched those games as well, and we commented on it as well how poor they were, particularly on the Brentford game.
That Brentford game, like my missus was actually sitting there watching me. She's like, "Don't talk to your dad." She said to my daughter, "Don't talk to your dad. He's very upset." And I'm just sitting there, red faced. I was just like, "Right, I'm going to the pub. I'll see you soon."
Yeah, and then obviously since that, then we come on to the Liverpool game, and what a result that was, and what a performance. Obviously, you made the changes.
Absolutely, like to keep from bearing in mind this kid's just come from Feyenoord, Malasia. Malasia. I can't say the Dutch league, but for him to come to that, for him to come to that, to Man United, to then man mark Mo Salah, which ain't an easy thing to do as a Chelsea fan yourself, and to have Salah in his pocket the whole game, except for when he scored. That's not an easy thing to do for your full debut, starting debut, and just man mark Salah.
I like him anyway. I saw little bits and pieces of him in pre-season, and I like the look of him anyway. Pacey, direct. Doesn't mind a tackle. Good signing, I think, Malasia.
Yeah. People are saying like he's the new Evra. He's the Dutch Evra. I'm not complaining about that.
The thing is, I mean, after that, obviously, you followed up that win by beating Leicester, and obviously Leicester being a Midlands club and not a million miles away from Adam. I'm sure Adam was happy with that, wasn't you, mate?
Oh, I'm laughing, mate.
Laughing. To be fair, Leicester are superb.
Leicester
that first half, Leicester are massively in trouble. They signed no one, didn't they?
Pretty much.
One person.
One defender to replace Fofana. But sold
got 70 million and then spent 15 million.
15. I mean, he could turn out to be a good player, but that's the market we're in. But so you follow up, consolidate obviously the Liverpool result with Leicester, and then we're on to where we are today. And obviously against the league leaders.
No, don't get me wrong.
Adam's pointing at his dog.
Don't get me wrong. Arsenal were superb.
She wants to join in the pod again. Did you know what? For periods of the game, Arsenal's play was on the money. I think you weren't getting tight to Odegaard, and Odegaard was having a real impact on the play, and every time that they got him on the ball, he could then feed in Saka, and all their play kind of went from there. I mean, I think Martinelli I think the strategy was keep Martinelli and Saka wide and try and stretch the defence, and it paid off on occasions, but they never really had enough people in the box to really trouble you.
It was only Jesus, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then because he was getting frustrated because he weren't getting service, he was dropping out and dropping deep to try and get on the ball.
That's what when Rashford scored the second, that was it.
Yeah.
Sort of Arsenal just bottled it from then.
Well, I think Adam was pulling for Arsenal a little bit because obviously we was doing the live watch along, and he types in the chat, "Great goal, come on Arsenal." So I think you was wanting Arsenal to win today.
I was gutted when that goal got disallowed. I was gutted.
Yeah,
I would say that goal should have stood. That was a bit
Andy
soft.
to cry.
It's soft, but there was contact and didn't get the ball. So
yeah,
it's a foul. You know, if that happens in most areas of the pitch, it probably gets given as a foul. I mean, VAR's coming for massive amounts of criticism over the last week or two. So I think they've probably got that one just about right, I would say.
I think that's why they brought Paul Tierney over to actually look at the monitor rather than VAR make their decision themselves.
Yeah, get him to say, have a look.
Tierney, come have a look, have a butcher, see what you think.
Yeah. So that's that. I mean, that's so.
It.
Obviously, it says. I think you're up. You know, you're pushing up towards the sort of top 6, 7 now, aren't you?
I think we're 5th again. I think we stayed 5th.
Oh, yeah. Let's get up the old. Let's get up the old table and have a little butcher to see where you are. Yeah, you are. You're right. You're up in 5th. 2 points ahead of my boys.
Considering where we was after the Brentford game.
Well, the thing is, like,
minus 6.
Yeah, 5 games into the season. I don't mean 5, 6 games into the season. You can't really say this team's out of the running for the title. This team's going to get. Well, I mean, you can say some teams might get relegated or whatever, but I don't. If you look at last season with about 8 games to go, Liverpool were about 13 points behind Man City, and then took it to the last day of the season. So after 6 games, 5, 6 games, I don't think you can decide where you're going to be. But you can have a kind of a bit of an idea about how you're going to get there.
Absolutely. It's just the whole, since the fridge has been dropped, as you say, it's just completely different style of football.
Yeah,
completely. And
well, I think having
Ronaldo either.
I think the other little change as well, not even just the changes with in the forward areas, not playing Ronaldo, not playing Maguire, not playing Shaw. For me, going with one holding midfielder rather than having 2 in there, in Fred and McTominay, just having one frees up the pitch for Eriksen and Bruno to go and do their thing. And so I think that's been a good change.
Definitely, because McTominay, since the Brentford game, he's been superb. Obviously, I think his position was under threat when we brought Casemiro in.
Yeah.
And that's it. He's like, oh, hang on a minute, I better start playing now. They've just bought a £60 million Champions League winning.
Yeah, although he did come on and give the ball away and nearly cost you a goal.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about transfers, and we'll get all three of our opinions on the transfer business that United have done. So we'll go one by one. I'll let you two say about what you think about their signings are. So we'll start off with the big one, and I'll go to Adam on this one first, actually, because Anthony. First impressions, not so much on how he played today, but when they made the transfer and how much they paid, what was your initial impression?
My initial impression, I've never really seen him play because I don't watch Eredivisie football at all, so I've never seen him play. I thought that's a bit too much.
That's a lot of money.
When you think look at Casemiro, for instance, and then look at Anthony. One I have watched, one I haven't watched, so I couldn't really.
I still think Casemiro
today, his movement's fantastic. Anthony's movement's fantastic. I'll give him that.
I was impressed. I mean, your first impressions. I don't know how much you knew. I mean, I'd watched a bit of Dutch football, so I knew a bit about how he played, his style. Seen him in the Champions League, come up against him with Chelsea in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And
I've seen him in the Champions League, but I haven't. Like I said, I don't watch their
not a week.
football.
Yeah, not week to week in the Eredivisie. Yeah. What did you think?
He was very, very highly rated at Ajax. He's only been there 2 years. Bearing in mind, he's only 22. I'm older than him. And
I'm definitely older than
him. Mate, he had Arsenal's left back running ragged all day, the whole game until he came off. Yeah, I thought 86 million is a lot of money for a 22-year-old who's not really
kind of unproven. I think it's only 2 caps for Brazil as well at the moment.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if he plays like that, he's going to have no problem fitting in every game.
I think it's going to be quite exciting watching him.
He's going to be the new Neymar in the Premier League. I reckon. I'm telling this now. I'm telling you this now. Yeah, he will be. I think he will be.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we'll
It's
do
just
this during the World Cup.
movement. He's got the pace.
Well, I think it is. That's obviously, but playing in the Premier League, and because it's such a more high-profile league, it probably will give him a really good shout of making the Brazil squad. And maybe, I mean, if you could imagine Anthony one side, Rafinha on the other, with Neymar in a 10 behind Jesus. What?
If I'm correct though, Eredivisie is a bit slower football, isn't it?
It is, yeah,
not as quick as the Premier League.
And obviously there's a lack of quality in terms of player. Yeah. All right. Well, let's crack on for the next one. And as soon as you mentioned Casemiro, we'll go with Casemiro. Me personally, I thought it was a lot of money to pay for a 30-year-old holding midfielder who's not the quickest.
I said this to you when it happened. I said, why have they paid that much money?
I think
a player that's another 5 years, and he'll be
I mean, obviously he's won a lot at Madrid, but that's playing alongside two of the best midfielders in modern times in Modric and Toni Kroos. I think I would look good.
Yeah, but then you see how much United paid for Maguire, and you think they've just paid £70 million for
holding midfielder. Well, I mean, transfer market's gone mental this year, that's for sure. Absolutely. What do you think of Casemiro? And
Casemiro, that I think that was sort of like a little panic buy-ish, because you got bear in mind the holding midfielder, Fred and McTominay were both useless in the first two games, and that's when we signed Casemiro. And you're like,
Fred, as they're known.
Yeah, I call him Max Sauce. And I thought, I don't know if that was a little panic buy, to be honest, because you had Fred and McTominay. We didn't have any more. We got rid of quite a few players who played in the midfield.
Yeah.
So
we'll come on to onto the outs as well.
I think that was like you said. That was
more game time.
Like you said, I think that was a panic buy, and it's give the team a kick up
the
backside that they
couldn't get De Jong. So maybe this was,
and that's it. Since Casemiro's come in, you look at how McTominay's playing now. That is unreal.
But playing in a one.
Yes.
Playing on his own, sitting behind Ericsson and thingy. Maybe if that would have happened in the first place, he wouldn't have looked support.
And I just want to praise Rashford as well. He's played the best I've seen him in a long time.
Maybe this is a return of Rashford. Martinez, I mean, when you signed him, I was like, well, I mean, I knew about him, and obviously, but for the times I can remember him playing for Ajax, he tended to play almost like a sweeper role in front of the defence, not necessarily always as a centre back, because of the height issue. Because of the height issue as well. Yeah. And obviously that showed in those first couple of games, didn't it?
The first two games against
Brentford. He's quick across the floor. He's good on the ball. The height obviously can be an issue, but I think obviously having Varane beside him gives that bit of power and height, and also Varane's quick across the floor as well.
Well, that's it. Them first two games where it was Martinez and Maguire. So if Martinez missed the ball, Varane ran to cover him.
Yeah,
Maguire never done that in the first two games. It was always, Martinez messed up. That's it. Goal.
Yeah.
Against the Brentford game. Where now, if Martinez mess up, Varane is there. Varane is there backing him up, and instead if Varane messes up, Martinez is there.
I do like the look of him a little bit. I like the look of him a little bit. He's got
the height is something.
A bit of an issue, yeah.
Bit of an issue, but then he's taken on Bobby Firmino, Liverpool.
Yeah.
He's taken on Jamie Vardy, who, bearing in mind he's 35, is still quick.
Yeah.
He's taken on Gabriel.
And then
Jesus
today, Jesus, Martinelli, and Saka.
Yeah, and that's not an easy job to do when he's only played 6 games for Man United.
Yeah. So we spoke a little bit about Malacia, and for the money, I think you look like you've got a good value buy there. To be honest,
that was a bargain, I think.
Yeah.
If he played, it's just I'm calling it now. I'm saying it's the new Evra.
Yeah, yeah. We've lost Adam temporarily. You might have seen him pop on the screen there. He's
got his Chinese.
He's just grabbed his Chinese out of from the front door. He weren't supposed to turn up till 8 o'clock, but he's turned up early. But that's always a good thing if you get your food early.
Oh, hello. Yeah,
It's funny 8 o'clock.
There's a
Can't
funny
see,
8 o'clock.
can
But hey, listen, it arrives, but at least it's arrived.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, so we was just talking about Malacia. I think maybe that could turn out to be a bit of a bargain for the money.
Yeah, I like him.
And then, of course, the other signing was Ericsson on a free.
Oh, brilliant.
Can't
fault that at all.
No, I mean, I'm hearing ridiculous amounts of money kept him out of the clutches of Tottenham. I think they were talking about like with the total value of the contract, something like 43 million.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. He's on a lot of money. He's on a lot of money. Because Tottenham offered him.
He's showing it though, isn't he?
I think Tottenham offered him pretty good terms, but United offered him a pretty good sign-on bonus and good wages per week.
Pacemaker like that and running like that still.
Yeah.
Hats off to him.
That's
your ins. And that's something that's what 200. I think I added it up to about 215 million.
You've missed one, but you've not.
He's
not played yet. That's Dubravka.
Oh yeah, are we counting that?
Is that really a transfer though?
A 33-year-old backup keeper on loan from Newcastle. I mean, he might play in a few cup games and all that, but that
a bit like Lee Grant
for Newcastle though.
Yeah,
he's done well for Newcastle.
To be fair, yeah, he's not bad. He ain't done bad.
I can't see. I think now if we're going to talk about the outgoings, I think the main one I'm about to say is Dean Henderson.
Well, Dean Henderson obviously was one of those, and he's left on loan. I think we can categorically say that he won't be back at United after the comments that were made.
No, after the comments, no.
One way or the other, he won't be coming back. Obviously, Jesse went on a free end of contract. Pogba went on a free end of contract.
Lingard, that's all I'm going to say about Lingard for that.
Well, yeah.
I mean, turning down West Ham.
The thing is, though, I mean, all right, yes, the money aside, but he did want to stay sort of in the north or the Midlands for family reasons. So I kind of get that, because obviously, from what I understand, when he went on loan to West Ham, all the family obviously stayed up,
up north,
in Manchester area, and he was commuting obviously on days off backwards and forwards. So I get that. If someone puts 200 grand a week or close to 200 grand a week down for you, and gives you the opportunity to stay fairly close to your family, it's the obvious option. No.
I won't say no to 10 grand. Never mind.
No, and to be fair, with the players that West Ham had already signed and had already got, there was a chance that he might have gone to West Ham and sat on the bench there anyway. So why not go to Forest, take 200 grand and start
playing every week?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
He just wants to play. It might be. To be fair to him, it's all he wanted was first team football. He wants to play.
And then
getting that United.
The other two that obviously went out was Tellez went out on loan to Sevilla, and then young Ahmed Diallo went out on loan to Sunderland. So that was your outgoings. You only actually brought in 10 million.
Well, you think we've actually lost quite a few more than that. You got Matic, Mata.
Yeah, but that was from the previous season, wasn't it?
No, they've just gone.
Well, Matic. Oh yeah, of course, Matic was.
Matic's just gone. Mata has, yeah.
Matic and Mata.
Yeah.
And Pogba, they're all left on freeze.
Yeah.
Pogba was a waste of space.
Why did Matic not come up? You sure Matic didn't go in the January? The previous January?
Roma.
Yeah.
He's gone Roma with Jose.
I'm sure because he didn't come up as one of the outs on transfer market.
Yes,
for this season. Oh. Well, he ain't there anymore.
Yeah,
that's
he's
the main
Roma.
thing.
He's gone Roma.
Yeah, he's at Roma with Jose. Yeah. I'm sure. I thought he joined them in January.
No, it was June.
Was it June?
Yeah.
June 1st.
June he agreed it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, there's one player that didn't leave that everyone thought was going to leave, which brings us on to the next discussion, which is what to do with Ronaldo.
I mean, that part.
I mean, obviously he's come on today and he did all right, but it looks like he's going to be a bit of a bit part player, because I think when Martial's back ready, fully fit and ready to go, I think Martial probably starts through the middle with maybe.
Yeah, I reckon Martial will play up front. Rashford, But then again, we've got
Well,
Anthony.
it gives you options.
You drop Sancho? Would you drop Anthony or Sancho to put Rashford on the wing?
On current form, I play Rashford, Martial, and Anthony. Because I think
Sancho has been playing well.
He didn't play great today. He weren't on it today.
But then you looked at the Leicester game.
But then you need a squad and you need options. So
yeah.
You know, one of them might miss out. We could play all of them. You know, you don't always have to play three in midfield. So you don't always have to,
No.
So he can rest Eriksen and he can, or give Bruno a rest every now and then. But what the hell do you do? I mean, obviously he's there. Well, they're saying, obviously they said today that, Ronaldo's there for the rest of the season now. So, well, he ain't, because obviously they seem to have forgot about the January transfer window. So yeah.
I was saying to Andy earlier on, I said, he's always come across so arrogant, so horrible.
Well, the thing is
today he actually applauds that goal of Anthony.
Yeah. I don't think you get where he is and as good as he is without being selfish. Yeah. To a degree.
To a point, yeah, but not. I thought he was arrogant all the way across. Like, even with this trouble he's been caused with Man United, it was all him apparently.
I kind of get it.
It was
came back
morale
to
just went.
Yeah, it kind of come back to United with the idea that he would help them get back into the Champions League. They didn't get into the Champions League. He's always going to have this thing with Messi about Champions League records and who's going to be.
He wants to break every record possible, don't he?
Yeah. So he wants to be playing Champions League football. So I get that. And the whole idea of him coming back was the fact that he would get Man United back to the Champions League. That ain't happened. It's gone south. He didn't get a move. And the problem is because his wages are ridiculous.
Do you think he's fit though? I was saying this to Andy earlier. So do you think he's fit?
No, I do. I just think he's 37. He's not. He's not
out of heart attack.
He's not a Ronaldo. I mean, he's not.
He's not playing what he used to be at Madrid.
You can be as ripped as you like, but at 37, when you've got 20-year-old kids running around you, you're not going to be, especially in the Premier League, you're not going to be as sharp. Don't get me wrong, still quality. No. And if he gets chances, I expect that he'll put
but it's just I've seen him running, and then he's like this. Like, I've never seen him like that. This is what I don't.
But he's 37.
I've never ever seen him.
That's it. That's
37.
If that were me and you, we'd be dead.
We'd be dead on it. But this is the point. He's punching and keeping it at a level well above where most 37-year-old forwards would be. And
I can't run after my 10-year-old child.
He's still there. He's still where he is.
I'm 28 and I still can't even run like Ronaldo.
But I think obviously the pace of the Premier League, people know he ain't going to run past them. He has got the drop in pace. Yeah, it's slight, but he's got drop in pace. But yeah, again, I mean, so for me, if it was you, obviously you're the fan, you're the United fan. You move him out in January as best you can. Maybe keep to stop the squad getting upset.
Money for him.
But this is the problem. I think you've got to let him go on a free. I think you've got to agree to cancel that last year of his contract, save yourself a ton of wages, because I just don't see anyone paying. That last year of his contract is going to be worth what, 10 million or whatever.
If that...
So they wanted 10 to 15 mil in a transfer fee, and then that got him off the books and not with the wages and everything.
And we saved 485 grand a week.
No top Champions League club wanted to pay a transfer fee on top of £500,000 a week in wages. That was the problem, and that's why he never got a move.
There's rumours he wants to go back to Lisbon.
They couldn't afford it
because of his mum. His mum's told him.
Yeah, they can't afford it.
He always listens to his mum.
If he took like a huge pay cut, then Lisbon could afford him.
I'd imagine that there's not a person at Sporting Lisbon who's probably even on 100 grand a week. Probably nowhere even near that.
Not even 50 grand, I'd say.
How that they could potentially even get close to doing that. No fee could be involved, and like Andy said, it'd have to be a serious pay cut in wages.
Yeah, but to him, it would be sponsorship and all that as well, wouldn't it?
Well, you make it. This is the thing. Yeah, of course,
Portuguese.
everyone will go out and buy whatever club he goes to. Everyone goes out and buys a Ronaldo shirt. Yeah. So that's where you get value.
Money back.
But it's a trade-off between value and your merchandise to what he offers on the pitch and what potential problems he could cause in the changing room.
Well, to be fair, last season, if it weren't for Ronaldo last season, we would have been bloody mid-table.
And this is the thing.
We wouldn't have got Europa League.
This is the trade-off, isn't it? You know, no doubt he has the quality.
Maybe this new manager's probably going to help him in a different way. Because I don't think so. You don't like the previous manager, did it? I don't think.
No, he didn't like Ragnick.
No, Ragnick. Yeah. So I think Ten Hag wants him out. I think he might. He'll say in public, "Oh, you know, we want to keep Ronaldo at the club and blah blah blah." You're not. You're keeping him at the club because one, it earns money. Two, you want a fee to replace that money that you're going to lose. I don't think Ten Hag wants him there or wants him in the changing room. But he's stuck with him. He's still a quality player, so you might as well use him, even if that's 10, 15 minutes off the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even today's game, he's trying. Ronaldo is trying, but it's a completely different style of football compared to under Ragnick and Ollie.
I think to get the best out of the players that you've got in your forward areas, you know, it has to be a combination of Rashford, you know, Sancho, Anthony, and Martial. For me, that's how you go forward.
And to be fair, if we didn't have Ronaldo and Martial's still injured, we've only got Rashford as a striker.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So unfortunately, we still need Ronaldo.
I think you are probably in a bit short on a number 9.
Oh, easily.
But
absolutely easy. Martial in the pre-season, he was awesome. Gets injured, and then we're struggling again. And then the Brighton and the Brentford game proved it.
Yeah, because you had nothing.
Yeah, no
nothing.
strike.
No.
Absolutely nowhere.
So I mean, if we're looking at, we've got to be realistic because you've got to look at what City have done in the market. You know, we've gone out and spent 200 odd million. You know, Liverpool have gone in and got Nunez. Obviously, they got Arthur on loan. So they've you know,
quite a bit as well, isn't they?
Yeah, I mean Zinchenko. Obviously, they got Saliba back on. Saliba's back from his loan, so that's like a new signing. They got Jesus, Zinchenko, so they've strengthened. So top 4 is difficult, I think, for United. But given the outlay of money, you know, the pressure's there clearly for Ten Hag to finish top 4.
Well, that's it. The Brighton and Brentford game proved it.
Yeah,
the Brighton and Brentford game proved it.
Yeah, I think that has to be the aim. Realistic expectation, though, you're talking about if we say the top 2 are almost given, City or Liverpool, whichever way round that finishes. I think.
I don't know because you look Liverpool this season. What have they done other than winning 9-0?
But listen, once they get their midfielders back fit, once Thiago's back fit, you know, and a few of the injuries here, Nunez settles in, Diogo Jota's back now. I expect Liverpool to start picking up points. So for argument's sake, if we say Liverpool and City are going to finish the top 2, I think for me, if Haaland stays fit, I think City piss it.
10 goals already for Haaland, ridiculous. 2 hat-tricks. So you're just like, what? So for 51 million.
I know. So for what you're looking at finishing.
This is what I said earlier about Casemiro, right? They've just brought him, Haaland, for 51 million.
Yeah, but that's because
younger as well.
Yeah, but you have to bear in mind that was the release clause. So they waited. So they waited a year. So if he got into the final year of his contract at Dortmund, the release clause was that price. If they'd have bought him 6 months earlier in the window, the price that was being quoted was in excess of 140 million. So
that's what I'd expect him to pay, to be honest.
Well, yeah, given current market rates, that's what you would have thought you would have been looking at.
That's what you thought,
yeah, because transfer market's gone mental. You know, I'm not even going to talk about Chelsea, how much we've been paying for players.
Speaking of Chelsea, where do you think they're going to finish this season?
I'm hoping top 4, and I do think we will pip. I think we'll finish in either 3rd or 4th. Personally, I think we'll pick up points. I think the Aubameyang brings a bit of quality in the finishing area.
That's a good buy for you, to be fair.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying though. With season expectations with United, you've got to finish arguably above 2 of.
Well,
either
basically we're fighting yous lot, Arsenal.
Yeah, Spurs and Spurs, albeit they've ground out a few results. Spurs look phenomenal.
Yeah,
they do. I mean, we had Paul on for the start of this current season the other week, and Spurs look good. I mean, I think they've bought well. You know, they've strengthened the front line with Richarlison. They've strengthened the midfield with Perisic, who can also play at wing back. You know, they've got players in defence, you know, like Romero and Dyer and Sanchez. They've got cover in those areas, so they're difficult to finish above. Arsenal, I said from the start of the season, looking at what they bought, I thought that they'd go off to a flyer.
They have.
And they have. Until today, but I expect them to.
Look at his grin.
I know. I expect them to.
It's so good, honestly.
I expect Arsenal to recover, and I expect them to maybe go on another 2 or 3 game burst of wins after this. You've knocked your mic off your donut. You've turned his mic off.
See with that, his headset's gone.
He's muted it, or his headset's gone off. We've lost Andy temporarily.
He's not smiling now.
It must be the battery on his headset.
Probably.
On again.
Well, oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. You're on again.
Try us again.
Yeah, I Ads was saying that you were smiling when we mentioned the results, but yeah, listen, end of the day, you've got to finish above Spurs, Chelsea.
Hear me,
yeah, I can hear you, mate. Yeah, you've got to finish above Spurs, Chelsea, and you know, and Arsenal to get into that top 4, and I think that's difficult.
He's gone again.
Your headset, Andy, your headset's dead, mate. Give up with your headset. Take it off. It's dead. Your battery must have gone. He's gonna have to go in the old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way, yeah.
The old-fashioned way, mate. Yeah, your headset's dead, brother.
It's still going on though. The light's still going off on the headphones.
Oh, this is it. That you know, you can't beat a good old-fashioned plug-in headphones. Cables, mate. Cables.
My Samsung Fold don't have a headphone jack.
No.
That's what you get for having Samsung phones.
That's it. Yeah.
Dodgy nowadays.
Dodgy Androids. Even my new tablet's got a headphone jack.
Oh well.
Anyway, so yeah, expectation. I think clearly the expectation with that kind of amount of money is top 4. I think realistically, where do you think you'll finish?
I'll hope 3rd, but it's going to be top 4. I want to push for top 4. It's nice to see United back up there. It'll be nice to see United back up there. The last couple of seasons,
having more teams that are competitive makes the league a bit more exciting.
Absolutely.
I tip Newcastle for top 6. Don't rule out them.
Ooh.
I don't rule out them adding 1 or 2 more players in January after the World Cup, and maybe having an outside sniff at the top 4.
That's a big shout.
Yeah.
You got to look at the teams that Newcastle got to try and beat.
Yeah, but listen, they were very unlucky in their last couple of games. Should have got more out of the Liverpool game. Should have won yesterday. Questionable decision to hello, as Andy's little one. Welcome to the pod.
You don't know football, mate. Yeah, that's it. We're talking about football. That's it. She goes away now.
Can I add another topic on?
Yeah.
Relegation. Now that the season started, who do you think is going to get relegated now?
I still can't call it.
I'm saying Leicester, one of them.
I'm Leicester and Bournemouth. The third team. I don't know.
Third team could be anyone. Didn't we do this at the end of last season's podcast? Didn't we?
Yeah. Villa might be in a bit of trouble.
I don't know if Stevie G gets sacked and they bring someone else in. I reckon they might have a shout because Villa have still got a good team.
They have.
They just can't do anything with it.
Yeah. Well,
being the Midlands, man, that must hurt me talking about Villa like that.
Yeah, we'll come back in a few weeks and look at that. Well, listen, one thing before we wrap up this United pod is obviously last week, the other week rather, with Paul, we talked about doing a Premier League all-time 11 podcast. So that's something what I want to get, obviously, more than just a couple of us in, so we can have maybe 5 or 6 of us on the screen. So obviously Paul will be in. Obviously, hopefully you two will be in on it.
Myself, every Sunday I'm free.
Yeah. Sundays are a little bit difficult for Paul because he lives in New Zealand and it's 13 hours difference. So Sunday evenings for Paul is Monday mornings and he's off to work. But Saturday,
I don't mind Sunday morning.
Yeah,
sort of Sunday evening for him, isn't it?
Or Sunday mornings or a Saturday evening would be quite a good one.
Well, it depends if I've got my kids, so I'd have to.
Yeah, but we'll find a way around it. But then even that, we can ask the kids who their favourite players are.
Oh, yeah.
So bear that in mind.
I was hoping to get me mate who's an Arsenal fan. I've been texting him the whole way through the game. I think after
75 minutes, you had no chance of getting him on.
Well, no, I've been texting him the whole game.
That's the challenge for you to start thinking about now. And I can tell you, it's not easy because you're looking from 92 to current days, and then because obviously it's the 30-year anniversary of the Premier League. So that's why I want to do this thing. And it won't just be in one pod, even if I can't get 3 or 4 of us in one, we'll do it over a series of parts where we if Ad can't make it for like a group.
Well, I can always do a video on my phone and get it sent to you and you can play it on the.
Yeah.
You could play it on the stream.
Or we just do extra episodes and we just get people in and we discuss what, why they pick. I listen, I wrote down last week mine. I didn't announce it. I'm not going to announce it because I'll save it for when we do it. And since I wrote that down, I've changed my mind 5 times.
Oh,
and then I have this conversation. I'll have this conversation with other people, and then they'll say a name, and it's like, I didn't think about them. So now I changed my mind again. So that's the challenge.
That's going to happen, especially obviously. I'm not being harsh. Obviously, you boys, you could say players in the 90s.
Yeah. Well, Adam's not
many players in the 90s, but if you start mentioning,
not much older than you.
Yeah, I can remember.
I'm the ancient one.
I can remember the likes of Andrew Cole, Dwight York, all them.
Yeah, well, I'm talking like from other teams and that, from like obviously when Blackburn were in the Premier League.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So he's talking like Shearer at Blackburn.
Yeah.
Keith Gillespie, all them.
Well, exactly.
Faustino Esprilla, David Ginola. I know. Listen, when you start talking about, and then you start thinking about even like if you look at like 1 or 2 of the teams, like so you're talking Arsenal, you're talking Henry, Vieira, Bergkamp, Perez, Overmars, people like that, and it don't stop. And then you start thinking about, the Invincible team for a start. Then you start thinking about the class of '92 at United, which had for me one of the best all-time 4s in midfield. So you had Giggs on the left, Scholes and Keane in the middle, and Beckham on the right.
Yeah,
I mean that could go in on its own.
Can't forget Lee Sharp.
Sharpie.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was as consistent.
Nowhere near. But then you're talking Man United forwards. There's just too many to remember. You're going to say
Sheringham,
Rooney, Yorkie, Cole, Cantona.
Yeah, Ronaldo.
CR7.
Yeah. First time around, Ronaldo.
Yeah, like it's
and even Chelsea, Zola, Hazard.
I won't put Hazard in there. I don't know about Hazard.
He was at Chelsea for what 6-7 years, and he won 3 Premier Leagues.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah, he was class, but I don't think I'll put him in the all-time Premier League.
Well, this is the whole point. This is the whole point of having a debate, isn't it?
Yeah, you talk about obviously Hazard. Well, you see me now. Hazard was left wing majority of his 6 years. Now you look at some of the other players and other teams. Across the 30 years.
Predominantly, Ronaldo played. When he first joined United, he played on the right and then migrated over to the left.
Then you got to look at the other left wingers like Giggsy, for example.
And then yet again, someone threw this name in the hat, and I hadn't even really thought about it. And they went Van Nistelrooy.
Poborski.
But you can't. Well, I wouldn't say all-time great. He didn't play really long enough, but he was a good player. But I mean, I'm talking about players that have done it over like a 6-7 year period. And then if you're thinking they're modern players, then you've got to start thinking about Aguero, De Bruyne.
That hurts, but
But you see where I'm going with it.
Yeah,
it doesn't stop at the back. You've got people like JT, Ferdinand, Vidic, Tony Adams, Evra, Ashley Cole,
Pione.
Who do you play? How do you pick between Ashley Cole and
Carragher?
Evra? It's difficult. I don't think Carra gets in there. But then in midfield,
I've got some thinking then,
mate. Listen, it boggles your brain. It really does.
You should do one, that obviously Adam don't can. We should do an all-time 11.
Rude.
No, you'll understand why in a minute. You could do an all-time 11, but you can't pick any players from your club.
That's impossible because JT goes in mine all day long.
No, but see what you mean. It'll be an interesting one to see.
Well, I'll tell you what we can do, because obviously Adam and anyone that watches this back can get involved and do this as well. You do it.
Derby, we're in the Prem, remember? So there'll be some Derby players.
Paolo One-Shot, one of the best debuts ever, scored against United. Beat 4 players and slapped it in.
Yosra Asanovic as well.
But we could also look at doing episodes where we do all-time 11s for your own club.
Yes.
Because that would be good.
That will be very interesting.
But it has to be based in your era of watching, because easily, obviously, United, you could be playing, Best, Law, all sorts of people.
So you're talking my area. So I started watching
era.
United from 2001, 2000 onwards.
Yeah. So when you were about, 8, 9 years old-ish?
Yeah. So I was 7.
So
7,
you're talking pretty much like
just before the Invincibles,
the 99 treble team kind of thing.
That's the year. It'd been the year after the treble.
The treble, yeah. It'd be good. And obviously, yourself, Derby. I know it ain't been great for the last few years, but you have had some bloody good players.
We've had brilliant players.
I
can name a defender right off the bat straight away.
I can name a few.
Carbonari.
I can name a few forwards as well. Going back in my timeline, Paul Pescasolido and Marco Gabbiadini.
He'd definitely be one.
Yeah.
So he's got a baseball ground and watch him.
Chelsea one's difficult, I can tell you.
That would. I've asked my old man this because he's a Chelsea fan, and he changes all the time.
In my era, I started like really getting into and watching Chelsea from when I was about sort of like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So that's you're talking 35 years worth of players to pick from.
And you think obviously from the Jose to now, Chelsea have been classed. So you look at the 90s,
even before the Abramovich money, we had some great people. We had Hodderwood as player manager, and then he brought in the likes of Hullet and Vialli.
Gianluca Vialli. That's what my old man's Chelsea shirt is.
We had some great cracking players down the years. Obviously in modern times, the Jose times and the Abramovich times.
Di Matteo and all that shit.
Yeah, real good class players. But yeah, we could go on. We'll save all this for the next one.
Yeah, so, I'm hungry.
He's hungry.
That Chinese very cold now, mate.
And I've been streaming I've been streaming since like 4:15. I'm shattered. I need a shower. I smell. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to bring that we're going to bring this United one to an end. So I'm going to thank Andy for joining us on this. A very happy Andy Reid, and of course one of our regular co-hosts, Mr. Adam James, who's got a Derby County background showing on his screen there.
Well, someone's got to support him, isn't they?
Classic Chelsea shirts hanging up at the back there.
Hometown, got to support him, got to stick by him, whatever league they're in.
I still support Dagenham Redbridge.
Right, so obviously people that are watching this, if anyone's watching this live, thank you very much for joining in and watching the show. If you're watching it back, either way, and don't forget to get on the socials. So the way you interact with us is important. Obviously in the on the front page on the bio for here, you've got the link tree. That link tree gets you to everything. So if you want to listen to previous episodes on the audio, whatever way you choose to use your audio, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever, we are covered. We have got you covered.
Apologies on it all.
This is it. You can also do the old-fashioned thing, because it's almost as old-fashioned as sending a letter, which you can email the show, which is obviously talkfootballpdc@gmail.com. Yeah, again, all the links are there. Make sure you drop a sub to the YouTube channel, because you won't. Oh, and click the little bell as well. But don't forget to click the little bell, because every time I go live, I'll do a watch along. Oh, bell friend, you'll get a little. It won't say that, but you'll get a little notification to say that obviously I'm doing a live and all the episodes are going to be like this now, where it's live, and you'll be obviously be able to get the audio back afterwards. So yeah, thank you for joining us on the Talk Football podcast. So we're going to say goodbye to our audio listeners now, whichever platforms you're on. So join us on the next episode, and we'll see you soon.
See you in a bit.
Bye bye.